Kita ada di segmen terakhir dalam debat pertama calon presiden 2024. Ya, di segmen sebelumnya kita sudah menyaksikan para calon presiden saling berdebat dan juga beradu argumentasi.
Ya, pada segmen terakhir ini kita akan menyimak pernyataan pamungkas dari masing-masing calon presiden. Kami mohon para calon presiden untuk maju ke panggung menyampaikan pesan penutupnya.
Baik, kami persilakan kepada bapak-bapak calon presiden untuk kemudian merapat menuju ke panggung utama.
Closing statements from each presidential candidate.
Dan untuk itu kami awali dari calon presiden nomor urut 1 kepada Bapak Anies Baswedan. Waktu Anda 2 menit dimulai
Mr. Anies
dari
Baswedan.
Di sini.
Floor is yours.
Silakan, Pak.
Saya rasa kita sama, rakyat Indonesia, saya, kita semua. Bahwa kita menginginkan sebuah negeri di mana praktek korupsi diberantas hingga tuntas. Pemerintah memberikan pelayanan yang terbaik. Dan kemudian kita menjunjung tinggi etika. Kita sama di situ. Karenanya saya ingin sampaikan kepada semua bahwa saat ini kita di persimpangan jalan. Antara tetap menjadi negara hukum di mana kekuasaan dikendalikan oleh hukum, atau kita menjadi negara kekuasaan di mana hukum diatur dan dikendalikan oleh penguasa. Okay? Dalam situasi itu saya ingin sampaikan ini adalah sebuah gerakan perubahan. Kita sama-sama. Kita ingin mengembalikan tetap menjadi negara hukum di mana kekuasaan dikendalikan. Dan saya ingin sampaikan bahwa etika dijunjung tinggi. Ketika terjadi pelanggaran etika, jangan bersembunyi di balik keputusan hukum. Justru kita harus mengatakan bahwa tugas dari pimpinan tertinggi memberi contoh. Bila ada pelanggaran etika, maka itu adalah mendasar. Bila tidak, maka ke bawah, ke seluruh rakyat, semua akan kompromi. Dan praktek orang dalam yang tadi saya sampaikan akan merusak sendi-sendi kehidupan bernegara kita. Rusak kita. Karena itulah penting sekali kita menjunjung tinggi etika. Dan itu dilakukan oleh siapa? Dari mulai calon presiden sudah diuji. Apa dia kompromi atau tidak pada etika. Okay? Lalu bagi anak-anak muda, kita semua menyadari pemilu ini tentang masa depan. Anda pemilih masa depan. Saya yakin Anda akan memilih yang serius untuk jadi presiden. Bukan yang main-main untuk jadi presiden. Dan ketika kita berbicara tentang masa depan, maka saya ingin sampaikan kepada semua, kebebasan berpendapat akan dijamin. Kita tidak mengizinkan lagi situasi di mana orang takut. Maka itu saya sampaikan, Wakanda no more, Indonesia forever.
Baik, waktu Anda habis, Bapak.
And no longer stymie.
Baik, selanjutnya kami persilakan calon presiden nomor urut 2, Bapak Prabowo Subianto untuk menyampaikan pernyataan penutup. Waktu Anda 2 menit dimulai dari sekarang.
Terima kasih, saudara-saudara sekalian. Kita harus selalu ingat bahwa kemerdekaan ini didapatkan melalui proses yang sangat panjang, perjuangan yang sangat panjang, berganti-ganti negara-negara lain datang menindas kita, merampas kita, dan ini adalah hukum sejarah manusia. Yang kuat akan menindas yang lemah. Kita bersyukur kita sudah bangun suatu negara yang memiliki demokrasi dengan segala kekurangannya. Kita bersyukur semua pemimpin telah membantu menambahkan kemajuan kita. Kita ingin lebih maju. Kita ingin lebih baik, kita ingin lebih adil, kita ingin hilangkan kemiskinan, dan kita ingin hilangkan korupsi. Kita negara yang sangat kaya, kekayaan kita luar biasa. Kami, Prabowo Gibran, Koalisi Indonesia Maju, siap melanjutkan fondasi yang sudah dibangun oleh pendahulu-pendahulu kita. Kita yakin Indonesia akan melompat menjadi negara hebat, negara maju, negara makmur, negara adil. Hanya dengan demikian. Tetapi syaratnya kita harus rukun, kita harus bersatu, kita tidak boleh menghasut, memecah belah. Kita tidak boleh untuk kepentingan sesaat, untuk kepentingan jangka pendek, untuk kepentingan diri kita, kelompok kita, kita tidak boleh mengorbankan persatuan, kesatuan, kerukunan bangsa Indonesia. Hanya dengan kerukunan, hanya dengan kearifan, hanya dengan kebersihan jiwa, tidak dengan permainan kata-kata retorika, tapi sungguh-sungguh cinta tanah air, Indonesia akan maju. Negara hebat. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Baik. Ya. Dan yang terakhir kita akan menuju ke calon presiden nomor urut 3, Bapak Ganjar Pranowo. Waktu Anda 2 menit dimulai dari sekarang.
Terima kasih.
Ganjar Pranowo.
Ini panggilan sejarah buat Ganjar Mahfud. Ganjar seorang anak polisi berpangkat tidak tinggi, bertugas di kecamatan. Pak Mahfud, bapaknya pegawai kecamatan. Kalau kita berada pada momentum yang sama, kami dan Pak Mahfud ini adalah orang kecil yang kalau bapaknya rapat kira-kira anggota Forkompimcam. Kami hanya di level kecamatan. Kami telah terbiasa mencoba mendengarkan keluh kesah rakyat. Panggilan sejarah inilah yang kemudian coba kita klasifikasi dari seluruh persoalan yang muncul. Bagaimana kita memberikan afirmasi kepada kelompok rentan, kelompok perempuan, penyandang disabilitas, anak-anak, termasuk mereka butuh perhatian yang lebih. Maka inilah cara kita membangun, melibatkan mereka tanpa meninggalkan mereka. No one left behind. Yang kedua, bagaimana pemerintah betul-betul bisa melayani dengan memberikan teladan dari pemimpin tertinggi yang anti korupsi, yang menunjukkan integritas, yang menunjukkan layanan pemerintahan yang mudah, murah, cepat. Kalau itu bisa kita lakukan, maka betapa bahagianya rakyat ini. Pemerintah ini ada yang ketika dikritik tidak baperan, yang ketika media menulis, mereka merasa ini vitamin buat dirinya, bukan sedang merongrong, apalagi kemudian merasa terancam. Maka kalaulah kemudian demokratisasi ini bisa kita laksanakan dengan baik, sesuai dengan amanah reformasi, nggak ada lagi cerita Bu Sinta, nggak ada cerita Mas Butet, nggak ada cerita Melki, tidak ada itu. Karena dewasa kita dalam berdemokrasi, maka dalam penghormatan terhadap HAM, mari kita konsisten antara pikiran, perkataan, dan perbuatan. Dan saya berdiri bersama korban untuk keadilan. Terima kasih. Mohon maaf kalau ada kata-kata saya yang kurang.
Baik,
waktunya habis. Pas sekali. Baik, hadirin, kita berikan tepukan yang paling meriah untuk para calon pemimpin Indonesia.
Ya, kita sama-sama menjadi saksi dari ketiga calon presiden yang tentunya beradu ide, gagasan, dan juga program-program. Tentunya inilah akhir dari debat pertama Capres 2024. Masih akan ada 4 debat lagi yang akan diselenggarakan oleh Komisi Pemilihan Umum Republik Indonesia. Dan semoga debat pertama ini mampu menjadi referensi Anda untuk memantapkan pilihan Anda pada 14 Februari 2024.
Ya, tentunya kami mengimbau jangan sia-siakan hak pilih Anda pada 14 Februari 2024. Suara Anda sangat berharga untuk menentukan masa depan Indonesia. Akhirnya, saya Valerina Daniel.
Ya, dan saya Ardianto Wijaya. Selamat malam dan sampai jumpa. Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih Pak
Terima kasih banyak Pak Ganjar.
Terima kasih Pak Prabowo.
Terima kasih Pak Anies.
Terima kasih Pak Ganjar.
Baik, mohon izin kita selfie dulu.
So there you have it, your vote counts. It's been an amazing ride this evening. Great job for Valerina and Jaya as well as moderators. And now we're back to the studio to talk about what happened with our experts in today's special program. So, Pak Wasisi Budina, we've seen the debates, we've seen the format, started with several segments and then ended up with this final segments. Looking at the format that we just had this evening, what do you guys think about this debate, the format for tonight?
So, I think the format itself shows that it's not an actual debate. In my view, it's more of a question and answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most candidates prefer to ask just a short question, a very, to some extent, some candidates start very politely, though some of the answers can also be very short as well. So it's not quite in-depth in terms, not comparable to most debates that we expect. But interestingly, it's quite a way to reveal what the candidates are thinking and their way of approaching the issue, we can see quite well, I think, through this debate.
So it's more about looking at each of the candidates' character instead of looking at the debate where each party is trying to, you know, find out what's the best solution for a problem.
True. So I cannot quite see programs. Each of candidate tend to sway away from answering what exactly
broad strokes.
Yeah, broad strokes.
Yeah, okay.
What they want to do, and even some candidates are not consistent in what they say. You know, on the one hand, they want you know, strong, for instance, judiciary system. But then when they say strong, they just talk about the state apparatus instead of, you know, the system itself and how we report, for instance. And then to those who talk about, you know, justice, for instance, I don't see the way that doing justice is just a top-down approach, that an order from the top-down will be executed well in reality. So these are the things that I think remains thinly, you know, discussed.
Okay. Now, Mas Wasis would love to get your take as well about the format of the debate. Did it allow us to learn anything new about the candidates, about their views, about their opinions on these certain issues that was being discussed this evening? What do you think, Mas Wasis?
Well, during the debate, I see that most of the pair want to emphasize some wording. For example, justice, changes, continuity, and even Jokowi. So this wording, it has impact on the public want to reevaluate their decision for the outcome election. And similar with Budina said that I also don't see the program and also the problem-solving approach that each pair want to address. And most importantly, they want to show their superiority. They want to keep all the pair, I mean, certain pair on the corner. So I think it's not debate. I think it's the way they want to show their superiority, and the rest of them are inferior.
How about what about their positionings? Are they trying to position themselves in a certain segment during the debate by using certain methods? What do you think about these three candidates?
Well, let's start from candidate one, If you look at candidate one, the message remains consistent from the very beginning. He keeps using the word opposition, justice, and then change, right? These are the three key messages. I wonder whether it's actually internally will be seen as representative of the entire coalition in his you know, coalition that supports him, because the keywords seems to only appeal to just one political party, which is PKS, you know, the BKS. Seems like that's the thing that he keep mentioning over and over. I wonder whether the vice president would have a different opinion on that. It's because even at the closing remark, he repeats the same thing. You know, and then when it comes to the candidate number two, I think the key message is that people don't need to talk more details about his programs, just trust him, because the track records, just look at Joko Widodo, you know. Interestingly, this is the first time I see a president running to go somewhere and keep mentioning somebody who is passing, who is already in the past. So he really don't want to talk anything in detail and tend to deflect. We were talking, the two of us, like deflecting questions. Keep saying it's not relevant to ask something like that. Let people vote. So keeping a distance with further dialogue on the topic. Whereas for candidate number three, I think he's trying to send a message that he understands the mapping at the local level, and because he's representing the people from the lower rank, that you know, he can do better as a leader. The question here is that the how question is not very well answered as well.
Okay.
You know, the same, again, nobody talks about political parties and how the political parties negotiate with each other to execute programs.
No, they didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, they don't talk about it.
Although they did come alive when they were talking about
Political
parties. Yeah. The three of them.
The three of them. Yeah. But they didn't answer that part.
No, they did.
Yeah. So
nothing in depth, nothing too particular, and nothing too substantive is what your point is. The candidates are making. As well as maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. We've heard the messages they want to put forward, especially in their opening statements, in the vision and missions. How about the part where they get to answer questions from the panelists? Do you think the questions represent the most concerning issues that people wanted to hear, Mas Wasis?
I think all the questions from the panelists already address the current issue that also public are concerned. But the way the presidential candidate answer it is not fit in the question. For example, they want to keep away from the question, and then they answer in different sentences. And I think it's not bad, but it affects to the public space. I mean, for the voters that already have knowledge on it, so they can re-evaluate again the answer from the candidates, especially the way they did not show their awareness, they didn't show the concern. So I think this will be trigger the public to readjust their assessment again.
So the goals of these three candidates, of course, is to touch base with their own voters that have made up their mind to choose them, and also trying to appeal to the swing voters, which we discussed earlier. That is quite a sizable number of voters, over 30%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, almost 30%.
Oh, yeah, almost 30%. So that's a lot of swing voters. After we've seen the debate, the so-called debate or the debate that just happened earlier,
the Q&A,
the Q&A. How do you think the effectiveness of the strategies that these three presidential candidates use in order to be able to appeal to the swing voters, that sizable chunk of 30%, more than 30% in number?
At this stage, I think it's still, the emphasis is still on the style and on pinpointing who is right and who is wrong.
Who is better?
Who is better, to some extent.
Why do you think they emphasize on that? Why the strategy was chosen, using style? Is it because it's the easiest to digest for the people, or I don't know?
They want to create link, I think, like relationship with the people. Okay. Starting from, if you notice how they dress up, the way they also use some taglines, and the way they, the candidate number 2 try to dance again, on the stage, and then whereas candidate number 1 tried to look very firm, and at the very end he says, choose the one who is very serious to become president. Right? So like the entire message is consistent with their appearance. That's what I think it is. So I think in their mind, that's the important thing to show, to do at this moment, at this stage of the debate, which is to consolidate their voter base, number 1. And number 2, by showing all the weaknesses of the other groups, they can really show, hopefully, that they can do better than the other groups. I think that's their strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see actually how the public is responding to this first debate. I think even now the social media is lighting up with memes.
We were just checking the social media, the X, which it was Twitter, and now X is buzzing with a lot of commentaries.
It is completely buzzing, and a lot of people are saying that this is the most action they've seen so far in a presidential candidate debate. What do you think, Budina? Is it living up to your expectation on what you expect on this very first debate for the three pairs?
I think the best thing about this first debate is it makes people talk.
Okay. That's true. You get the conversations going.
You got the conversation going, and I know for a fact that all of my friends that I know are watching.
Yeah.
Even my students are watching. My colleagues in the university are watching, and everybody are responding about different aspects of the law enforcement, human rights, and everything. So it's a good thing, I think, for democracy. It's one thing that people are informed about programs, but hopefully along the way, because after trying to run several times, I think, several rounds, they would give up and have to mention, then what do you do? That's what I expect from the next round of debate.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I think this debate also make the people keep an eye out for it. I think they evaluate not only performance, appearance, ideas, and even the followers. And I think this pattern will be follow up in the next series of debate, but will also improve it by some improvisation, for example. I think this will make up debate more convincing, more entertaining. Because when we see the way candidate answer the question and they denial, they deflect the question, it's also entertaining us. It shows how the candidate is well prepared or not. And it seems also give a signal, oh, this guy is not fit in the administration, or maybe this guy will be suitable in the administration.
Which one is more emotional than others?
Correct. Something like that.
Okay, so maybe in summary, also as your closing statements, Budina, Mas Wasis, before we close up the first debate of this evening, as the whole general public, the voters that will come to the voting booths come 14 February 2024, there'll be more than 200 million Indonesians coming to the voting booths next year. So what should we look out for the next debate? How should we
more to go.
Yeah, how should we inform ourselves on, actually knowing what kind of qualities we need in a leader that we can actually see and spot during the next 4 debates? Budina, Mas Wasis.
Okay, from my side, I think the best thing to look up independently now to educate ourselves about these candidates is to focus on the questions they deflect. All of these candidates deflect, that they try to avoid answering. Because that's where the meat is. That's where the information is now being kept away from the public. So questions about political parties. What are you going to do, political parties, to ensure that there's democracy, there's a clean justice system and no corruption? What's the contribution of political parties? And then second thing, also about, for instance, the process of making the judiciary reform will be fully conducted and no corruption. All this process you have to really follow through. Also on human rights, right? The questions about human rights is also not very well answered at all, I think. So look up for more information on, because for decades, we've tried to do something about it and it hasn't been successful. So I think it's time that we, as voters, educate ourselves, figure out what kind of answer we actually look for, and then decide.
What's his final thoughts?
Well, I think for the next debate, each candidate should put their rival at ease. Because when we see the first debate, all the candidates are head. They want to attack each other with some comments, some feedback, and etc.
They were on the offensive.
Yes. So I think putting somebody at ease is the main key for the next debate, because we don't see constructive debate tonight. We just see all the candidates want to re-campaign again, want to be self-centric again.
But not on the same stage.
Correct. So that's why I think how they respect their rival, how they not to be self-centric is the main key for the next debate. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Pak Wasis, thank you so much. Budina, thank you so much. It's been
Thank
such
you.
a great opportunity to be able to talk to both of you and to listen to your opinions. It's been quite a fun night, yeah?
It has been quite captivating, actually. Thank you so much for being the part of the first debate. We look forward to seeing you in the 4 next debates right here on TVRI World. So that means that's the end of our program today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope they could join us again for the next 4 debates happening, of course, also on TVRI World. But for now, I'm Siska Becker.
And I'm Uli Herdi. Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on TVRI World. Take care.